Okay, good morning. It is January 26th, Monday morning, and we're keeping on studying of the Book of Mormon. Last time we met, we were First Nephi chapter 4. This is when Nephi and his brothers go back to the land of Jerusalem, and they obtain the plates. And not only do they leave with the plates, but they leave with Zoram, the servant of Laban. Alright, so in chapter 5, let's get into it. Book of Mormon, okay. The Children's Guide. Sariah complains against Lehi. Both rejoice over the return of their sons. They offer sacrifices. The plates of brass contain writings of Moses and the prophets. The plates identify Lehi as a descendant of Joseph. Lehi prophesies concerning his seed and the preservation of the plates. About 600 to 592 BC. So roughly somewhere in the time frame of 8 years proximity. This is like about the time this happened, 600 BC to 592. Let's see what this image is. Okay, this is Sariah. And it came to pass that after we had come down into the wilderness unto our father, behold, he was filled with joy. And also my mother Sariah was exceedingly glad, for she truly had mourned because of us. For she had supposed that we had perished in the wilderness, and also complained against my father, telling him that he was a visionary man. Behold, thou hast led us forth from the land of our inheritance, and my sons are no more, and we perish in the wilderness. And after this manner of language had my mother complained against my father. And it came to pass that my father spake unto her, saying, I know that I am a visionary man, for if I had not seen the things of God in a vision, I should not have known the goodness of God, but had tarried at Jerusalem and had perished with my brethren. But behold, I have obtained a land of promise, in the which things I do rejoice. Yea, and I know that the Lord will deliver my sons out of the hands of Laban, and bring them down again unto us in the wilderness. So Sariah was concerned, her sons had died. Lehi was the one who had the vision, and he had confidence that the Lord would deliver his boys. And after this manner of language did my father Lehi comfort my mother Sariah concerning us, while we were journeying in the wilderness up to the land of Jerusalem, to obtain the record of the Jews. And when we had returned to the tent of my father, behold, their joy was full, and my mother was comforted. And she spake, saying, Now I know of a surety that the Lord hath commanded my husband to flee unto the wilderness. Yea, and I also know of a surety that the Lord hath protected my sons, and delivered them out of the hands of Laban, and given them power whereby they could accomplish the things which the Lord had commanded them. And after this manner of language did she speak. So Nephi testifies and witnesses that if the Lord commands something and we're faithful, we can accomplish it. We will accomplish it. Lehi just testified to his wife that he knew of that. And now Sariah gives her third witness that after her son's returning, that same thing is true. Once again, there's three witnesses to this fact. And it came to pass that they did rejoice exceedingly, and did offer sacrifice and burnt offerings unto the Lord. And they gave thanks unto the God of Israel. And after they had given thanks unto the God of Israel, my father Lehi took the records which were engraven upon the plates of brass, and he did search them from the beginning. So as soon as Lehi obtains the plates, he studies them. And he beheld that they did contain the 5 books of Moses, which gave an account of the creation of the world, and also of Adam and Eve, who were our first parents. This is where we are in our study of the New Testament with my kids. Adam and Eve, they had children, they offered burnt offerings as they were commanded by the Lord. And Lehi is reading about this in the 5 books of Moses that were found in the brass plates. And also a record of the Jews from the beginning, even down to the commencement of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah. And also the prophecies of the holy prophets from the beginning, even down to the commencement of the reign. Wait a second, what's the difference here? And also a record of the Jews from the beginning, even down to the commencement of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah. And also the prophecy of the holy prophets from the beginning, even down to the commencement of the reign of Zedekiah. And also many prophecies which had been spoken by the mouth of Jeremiah. Okay, so prophecies and records of the Jews. There's a distinction there. We learned about the different plates. One were the more secular part. Maybe these were the records of the Jews from the beginning, and the prophecies, the more spiritual matters. And it came to pass that my father Lehi also found upon the plates of brass a genealogy of his fathers, wherefore he knew that he was the descendant of Joseph, even that Joseph, who was the son of Jacob, who was sold into Egypt, and who was preserved by the hand of the Lord, that he might preserve his father Jacob and all his household from perishing with famine. Jacob. I'm just thinking, we were talking about patriarchal blessings and lineage in the 12 tribes of Israel. So he was the descendant of Joseph. I'm trying to remember the connection, which means he was the descendant of Jacob, which is Israel. And I believe Jacob had 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. And in patriarchal blessings and in the church, there's a distinction, not just from Israel, from Jacob, but which son, Ephraim and Manasseh. And they were also led out of captivity and out of the land of Egypt by the same God who had preserved them. And thus my father Lehi did discover the genealogy of his fathers. And Laban also was a descendant of Joseph. Makes sense, because he had the records. Wherefore he and his father had kept the records. So he was related to Laban. And now when my father saw all these things, he was filled with the Spirit and began to prophesy concerning his seed, that these plates of brass should go forth unto all nations, kindreds, tongues, and people who were of his seed. Wherefore he said that these plates of brass should never perish, neither should they be dimmed any more by time. And he prophesied many things concerning his seed. And it came to pass that thus far I and my father had kept the commandments wherewith the Lord had commanded us. And we had obtained the records which the Lord had commanded us, and searched them, and found that they were desirable, yea, even of great worth unto us, insomuch that we could preserve the commandments of the Lord unto our children. Wherefore it was wisdom in the Lord that we should carry them with us as we journeyed in the wilderness toward the land of promise. They were of great worth for the reason that they could preserve the commandments of the Lord unto their children. Laban was also a descendant of Joseph. So there was some relation between Lehi and Laban that goes back all the way to Joseph. You know what? Let's jump into the next chapter 6 because it's so short. I'll edit the title of this study this morning. So First Nephi chapter 6. Nephi writes of the things of God. Nephi's purpose is to persuade men to come unto God of Abraham and be saved. This is the same time frame within the same 8-year period, 600 BC to 592. And now I, Nephi, do not give the genealogy of my fathers. In this part of my record, neither at any time shall I give it after upon these plates, which I am writing, for it is given in the record which has been kept by my father. Wherefore I do not write it in this book. For it suffices me to say that we are the descendants of Joseph. And it mattereth not to me that I am particular to give a full account of all the things of my father, for they cannot be written upon these plates. For I desire the room that I may write the things of God. More importance was given. The room needed to be used so that his descendants knew of the spiritual matters. Maybe not more importance, but because those things were already written and kept by his father, his desire was to focus more on the spiritual matters. For the fullness of mine intent is that I may persuade men to come unto the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, and be saved. Yesterday, a friend of mine received the Melchizedek priesthood. And we did it here in my home. Stake president was here. His father-in-law was here, and the one who did it. His father-in-law was the one who ordained him and conferred the Melchizedek priesthood upon him. What I'm looking for is my slides. Where is recents? Let's see, keynote file, open recents, priesthood. There was something on here. Okay, the reason this triggered this was this thought that's right here. Nephi wanted to use persuasion. And this is found in Doctrine and Covenants, section 121, verse 41. And it's talking about the priesthood and how we should use it. Not heavy-handedly, not forcing people. Because if we do that, that is unrighteous. And it would be amen to the priesthood of that man. But this is saying how we should use it. Verse 41. By persuasion, by long-suffering, by gentleness and meekness, and by love unfeigned. Nephi, in chapter 6, his intent that he might use persuasion, persuade men to come unto the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob and be saved. I just wanted to bring that in because that's what that was the same word. Persuade. Our righteous use of the priesthood is to persuade, not to force. Okay. Wherefore the things which are pleasing unto the world I do not write, but the things which are pleasing unto God and unto those who are not of the world. Therefore I shall give commandment unto my seed, that they shall not occupy these plates with things which are not of worth unto the children of men. So as there are many other authors in here, Nephi being the first. Well, the first to write. The plates of brass were also a part, but they all had the commandment to his seed. That the only things that occupy these plates should be of great works to the children of men. You know what? We've got a little bit of time. We're going to do one more. First Nephi chapter 7. Lehi's sons return to Jerusalem. Okay, they're going back. And invite Ishmael and his household to join them in their journey. I wonder if Zoram didn't have a family. Laman and others rebel. Nephi exhorts his brethren to have faith in the Lord. They bind him with cords and plan his destruction. He is freed by the power of faith. His brethren ask for forgiveness. Lehi and his company offer sacrifice and burnt offerings. And this is within the same time frame, the same 8 years, 600 BC to 592. And now I would that you might know that my father Lehi had made an end of prophesying concerning his seed. And it came to pass that the Lord spake unto him again, saying that it was not meet for him, Lehi, that he should take his family into the wilderness alone, but that his son should take daughters to wife, that they might raise up seed unto the Lord in the land of promise. And it came to pass that the Lord commanded him that I, Nephi, and my brethren should again return unto the land of Jerusalem and bring down Ishmael and his family into the wilderness. Now they've got to go back, the brothers, and convince Ishmael and his family to go into the wilderness with them. And again it came to pass that I, Nephi, did again with my brethren go forth into the wilderness up to Jerusalem. And it came to pass that we went up unto the house of Ishmael, and we did gain favor in the sight of Ishmael, so much that we did speak unto him the words of the Lord. And it came to pass that the Lord did soften the heart of Ishmael, and also his household, insomuch that they took their journey with us down into the wilderness to the tent of our father. Man, this is quite a different reaction. You think of their command was to go to Laban and ask for the plates, this inanimate object, although it did have the records of his forefathers, so an important item to him. Laban tries to kill them. He steals their property. He says no, basically. Ishmael, when asked to give even of a more precious thing, I think objectively to anyone, his family, to leave the comfort of their home and to go, after he hears the word of the Lord, his heart is softened, and he takes his entire family and leaves Jerusalem. That's interesting to me, the contrast between the two men that are asked to give up something because of the Lord. One has a soft heart and does it willingly, which is his most prized possession, his family. And Laban is just, he has inanimate object. It still is a prized possession because it's his genealogy, but he does not want to give it up. Even he steals their property, he tries to kill them. And it came to pass that as we journeyed in the wilderness, behold, Laman and Lemuel, and two of the daughters of Ishmael had the two sons of Ishmael and their family. Okay, so the sons of Ishmael were already married and had families. Wait a second. Laman and Lemuel and two of the daughters of Ishmael and two of the sons of Ishmael and their families did okay, sorry, these were the ones that did rebel against this, yea, against me, Nephi and Sam, and their father Ishmael and his wife, and 3 other daughters. Five daughters. Nephi and his 3 brothers, and Zoram. I'm just trying to match these up, but the 2 that were probably going to marry Laman and Lemuel joined Laman and Lemuel in rebelling. And then Ishmael's sons and their families did rebel. And it came to pass, in the which rebellion they were desirous to return to the land of Jerusalem. And now I, Nephi, being grieved for the hardness of their hearts, Therefore I spake unto them, saying, Yea, even unto Laman and unto Lemuel, behold, ye are mine elder brethren, and how is it that ye are so hard in your hearts, and so blind in your minds, that ye have need that I, your younger brother, should speak unto you, and set an example for you? Oh, I bet that ticked him off. Why is it that I am setting, your younger brother, am setting an example for you? How is it that ye have not hearkened unto the word of the Lord? How is it that ye have forgotten that ye have seen an angel of the Lord? Yea, and how is it that ye have forgotten what great things the Lord hath done for us in delivering us out of the hands of Laban, and also that we should obtain the record? He's helping them remember. This is one of the, in my opinion, one of the most important parts of the Book of Mormon, that it helps us to remember. Yea, and how is it that ye have forgotten that the Lord is able to do all things according to his will for the children of men, if it so be that they exercise faith in him? Wherefore, let us be faithful to him. And if it so be that we are faithful to him, we shall obtain the land of promise. And ye shall know at some future period that the word of the Lord shall be fulfilled concerning the destruction of Jerusalem. For all the things which the Lord hath spoken concerning the destruction of Jerusalem must be fulfilled. For behold, the Spirit of the Lord ceaseth soon to strive with them. For behold, they have rejected the prophets, and Jeremiah have they cast into prison, and they have sought to take away the life of my father, insomuch that they have driven him out of the land. How much more do we got? Okay. Now behold, I say unto you, that if you will return unto Jerusalem, ye shall perish with them. You shall also perish with them. And now, if ye have choice, go up to the land, and remember the words which I have spoken unto you, that if you go, you will also perish. For thus the Spirit of the Lord constraineth me that I should speak. And it came to pass, when I, Nephi, had spoken these words unto my brethren, they were angry with me, of course. And it came to pass that they did lay their hands upon me. And this is the laying on of hands that we talked about, priesthood ordination. They meant to harm him. For behold, they were exceedingly wroth, and they did bind me with cords, for they sought to take away my life, that they might leave me in the wilderness to be devoured by wild beasts. But it came to pass that I prayed unto the Lord, saying, O Lord, according to my faith which is in thee, wilt thou deliver me from the hands of my brethren? Yea, even give me strength that I may burst these bands with which I am bound. And when it came to pass, I had said these words, behold, the bands were loose from off my hands and feet. And I stood before my brethren, and I spake unto them again. So Nephi prays. The bands were not broken, they were loosed. And it came to pass that they were angry with me again, and sought to lay hands upon me. I guess I just want to point out one thing. Nephi asked in his prayer that they maybe burst these bands, but instead they were loosed. A lot of times we'll ask for something in our prayers, and they might not be according to the Lord's. It might be done the way in which we want them to be done. But nevertheless, the purpose, Nephi wanted to burst them. They were loose. The purpose is the same. The Lord performed something to get him to answer his prayer, but maybe not in the way that he wanted. And it came to pass that they were angry with me again, and sought to lay hands upon me. Behold, one of the daughters of Ishmael, yea, and also her mother, and one of the sons of Ishmael. I bet you, this daughter of Ishmael is going to be Nephi's wife. One of the daughters of Ishmael. Two of the daughters of Ishmael rebelled. Probably the wives of Laban and Lemuel. One of the daughters of Ishmael pleaded. just kind of shows you the power of a spouse to persuade in one another. Okay. Did plead with my brethren insomuch that they did soften their hearts, and they did cease striving to take away my life. And it came to pass that they were sorrowful because of their wickedness, insomuch that they did bow down before me, and did plead with me that I would forgive them of the thing which they had done against me. Man, what a 180-degree turn. They wanted to kill him, now they're bowing down to him, asking for forgiveness. And it came to pass that I did frankly forgive. I'm going to come back to that. Of all that they had done, and I did exhort them that they would pray unto the Lord their God for forgiveness. And it came to pass that they did so. And after they had done praying unto the Lord, we did again travel on our journey toward the tent of my father. I love this about Nephi. Just an awesome dude. They just tried to kill him. This is, a translation from their language into English by Joseph Smith. This word is so interesting to me. He did frankly forgive them. Just quickly. Just forgave them and told them that they needed to go to the Lord to ask for forgiveness. That's a good example of how it needs to be done when we are offended by someone. When we are offended by words or offended by simple things, yet his brothers tried to kill him. We need to follow this example and just frankly, all right, this is done. This doesn't need to be anymore. It doesn't need to be a thing. I forgive you. In order for the Lord to forgive us, we need to forgive others, and we need to do it frankly and not have a hard heart. We need to be like Ishmael and have a soft heart. And it came to pass that we did come down into the tent of our father. And after I and my brethren and all the house of Ishmael had come down unto the tent of my father, they did give thanks unto the Lord their God, and they did offer sacrifice and burnt offerings unto him. All right, that was 3 chapters. Great chapters. Lots of good counsel in there. The testimony of doing what the Lord commands. We had the 3 witnesses. We had Lehi, we had Nephi, and then we had Sariah. After her son's return, she gave the 3rd witness. We talked about what were in the plates, who they were a descendant of, which was Joseph, came out of Egypt, and then Nephi and his brothers go back. They grab Ishmael and his family. The contrast between Ishmael and Laban in the things that they were asked to sacrifice. Even Ishmael gave of it the most important thing, which was his family. Just the difference in their attitudes in giving. And we learn about the Lord. Nephi asked that he might burst the bands, but they were loosed. We might not always get the things that we ask for, but Heavenly Father answers prayers, and He does it in His way, and His ways are accomplished. And then I think one of the most important messages in here is that when we need to forgive people like Nephi, and we need to do it frankly, regardless of what they do. If they try to kill us, it is our obligation. Is that the right word? It's important that we forgive, and we forgive frankly. So that's it for today. I ran a little bit over. I got to get my daughter to school, but we'll start on 1 Nephi chapter 8 tomorrow. All right, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you later.